Okay, welcome everyone. My name's Jonathan. This is an Inversions in Things practice. It's 45 minutes. The whole point is just to practice inversions and not necessarily to get bogged down in the workshop side of things. So to just do a class with inversions being a key component. So we'll jump right into the practice, into down dog to start. I've got my watch set at a minute. We'll just see how long we last in the poses. So using downward facing dog just to create a bit of a warm up for the body. Actively push your hands forward, tilt your sit bones high up into the air. Another version you can do in down dog is to literally hold on to the outside of your mat like this, and then you've got more strength gripping the mat to push it away from you as you tilt your sit bones high into the air. I often put my heels right at the wall so that I can push into the wall and tilt the sit bones up higher as I push the legs straighter. It just feels pretty good for me. We'll do the big three as usual. We'll go headstand, handstand, and maybe take a bit of a break and then do forearm stand a little bit later. But getting all three in with at least about 3 minutes per, maybe a little bit more with handstand. Okay, come forward to plank position, the top of a push-up. Keep your chin lifted. There was a time once when a woman, she was also another teacher at a studio I taught at, but she asked me after class what a topical push-up was. And I said, no, top of a push-up. So taught me to enunciate a little bit better. She thought it was like the topical push-up of the day, what was topical at the time. Keep your chin lifted and then lower down halfway. Pause and hold. Chaturanga is a pose. Remember this? This is a pose. This is a pose. And then lift for your back bend du jour. That's German for back bend of the day. And then push back, downward facing dog. Just turning the watch off for now. In downward facing dog, walk your hands back towards your feet. This is where you'll need a wall if you don't have one. And then just step one foot up and then your other foot up. Just initial handstand upside down with knees bent, a little bit more bowspringy style. And just turn your feet one way and then turn your feet the other way. And then just finding a little bit of freedom, fluidity. Push your arms straight, actively press down with your finger pads. Push down through the knuckles of your hands. Knuckles can be both front and back, so of course the palm side knuckles. And then lower your feet down one by one and just rise up, recovery position. That's just hands to the knees. Push your knees forward, move your hips back, and then reach your arms in front of you, cup the back of your head, arc over to the right, and then come all the way up and arc over to the left, and then come back up. Take a wide stance, clasp your hands, bend your elbows slightly, lift your shoulders up, bend your knees, move your hips back, and then bow over your legs. Lifting your hands up away from your hips. Just pausing here, getting comfortable being upside down with the head below the heart and the heart below the hips. Okay, and then touch your hands down. Inhale, lengthen for a halfway lift position. Bend your knees and move your hips back so that you try to make a little arch in your low back. And then one by one, lift your hands to cup the back of your head. Point your elbows down so it's the headstand one position. Move your hips back. Try to arch the low back. Push your head into your hands. And then now work your legs straighter without rounding your back. Trying to keep a little back bend shape in your low back. And that one's pretty hard to do. For some you can hold it and stay steady. Okay, and then just hinge forward, hands down, and then we're gonna set up for 1 minute. It'll be then 30-second rest, 1 minute, 30-second rest, 1 minute. So if you wanna do headstand 1 for 4 minutes straight, you have that option. Whenever I time myself, I like to have my back to the wall just in case, because you're pushing yourself. If you don't need it, you don't need it, but it's never a bad idea to be right there. So we'll start in 3 seconds for the first minute. I'll actually take this off so that I might be able to see the timer as it goes. So 3, 2, 1, and first minute begins. Oh, I can't see that at all. There we go. No, I just see that the time is changing. Well, it's approximately 10 seconds in. I can tell every time that a second passes, which really, I don't know if that helps for anyone. I think every person in the world understands about when 1 second happens. A little harder when you're upside down to know what a minute is. Actively push down with the entire length of your forearm from your elbow to your wrist. Squeeze your legs together, spread your toes, and lift your feet up. I think we're nearing the end. So again, option to go for 4 minutes straight, or to see how long you can go on this first go. And then for most, come down for about a 30-second rest. You can do child's pose. You could sit on your heels. Whatever you need to take a little bit of a break. Again, stay up. Option to go for 4 minutes. There we go. I think solved the issue there. 3 seconds before the next minute. And then set yourself up. Round 2 to. Oh, I forgot to reset the watch, so the timer will beep at the halfway point. Whoops. That one's my bad. If you want to add to the variation of your headstand, you're always welcome to open the legs out to the side like a splits position. This one's nice in terms of counterbalance. I used to think I could do the full splits, and then I saw a picture of myself and it's not even close. That's just the halfway point. I forgot to reset the timer. Which means if you went up from the beginning, you're at 1.5 minutes plus 30 seconds. So that's approximately 2 minutes. Last 10 seconds here on the second minute. If you're just going in stages, push down with your forearms. And then 1 more breath in. And then slowly come down for your rest. Pause, forehead to the floor, or sit upright. So the timer is arbitrary, but your body isn't. So rest as you need to. Do as much of the minute as you can. Feel comfortable. But if it's achy at all, then just come down early. Last 5 seconds for the rest here. And then going up for the last minute. So some of you are at 3 minutes already, which is great. If you want to add some variations, turn your feet and your hips to the right. Actively push down more with your left forearm. And then now twist your whole body towards the left. Push down with your right forearm. Come back to center. And then just play around with pointing the toes up or flexing your feet and pulling your toes down. And just noticing the effect that has, especially on the calf muscles where you can stretch and strengthen them. Also affects and impacts the hamstrings and the quads as well. Last 10 seconds. Using the legs to hold you up, not just your head or your arms. And 3, 2, and 1, and come down. Way to go. Whew. Taking a little bit of a breather. So that could be child's pose or sitting up, or even hands under your shoulders and then head to the wall, pausing that way. We already did the walk the feet up the wall handstand, so the next one is going to face the other direction and hop up. So again, if you want to just do the walk the feet up, you're welcome to do that. It's a lot warmer now. We're moving into summer season. It's almost 30 degrees in Victoria yesterday. That's Celsius. The only way that we can really
truly measure temperature. And anyways, I need my pink towel. So it'll be just face the wall. This one's purely for time. Hop up, 1 minute. We should be ready to go here. So 3, 2, and 1, and hop yourself up. Have the hands under the shoulders. Push down with the finger pads. Push down with your knuckles. 20 seconds in. So this is one of the baseline versions of doing handstand, is just to go up and hold the position to build strength. I meet a lot of people who want to hold it in the middle of the room or press handstand, but they can't hold it for a minute at the wall. And unless you can hold it for a minute, it's going to be hard to do much more with handstand than that. So 15 more seconds. Point being that you're welcome to just do this for the other 2 versions that we'll do next. And then last cycle of breath here. And slowly make your way down. You can do child's pose. You could sit on your knees. I often like to just put the hands to the knees like this in recovery position and pause. So I still stay fairly active. The next one is going to be just a minute. Again, you can go hold for a minute. It's just learning to go up slowly. And the way to go up slowly is first to come down slowly. So I'm going to go up and then try to get my butt to the wall and then bring the legs down and then just do that as many times as I feel I can in a minute. So just seeing what that looks like. It'll be go up, and then you could even put the back of the head near the wall so my butt doesn't touch all the way, and then just slowly lower down like that, and then go up and do it again and do it again. We're going to get ourselves connected and do it again and do it again. 1 minute has started. Go up. Again, option to just hold, or see if you can lower down and even hover. I think there's a few. I think I saw Mallory and Derek hop in. You might be able to hover and then go back up. That would look like that. Oh, just a bit too close to hover. Hover. Just know that handstand, especially press handstand, isn't wrist therapy, so you can always pause. You don't need to do the full 1 minute. Do as much as you can. 15 more seconds. Okay, and then 3, 2, 1, and then take a little bit of a break, pause. You're always welcome to throw in some comments if you have any feedback, or see if you're hovering. Okay, one more, and this one's more about just learning to go up really gracefully. So it's just going up, tapping with one foot, switching to the other foot, and then coming down, and then just switching your legs back and forth. So I'll just show that one that makes more sense. So it goes up, tap, switch, and then come down. So now I'm on the other leg. Up, switch, and come down. Use the wall if you've never done it. If you're getting pretty good, oh, I didn't quite get enough of a hop. Go up, hold, switch, come down. Go up, hold, switch, come down. Eventually you might even be able to hold and just kind of switch the legs. Oh, fighting, switch. Okay, 1 minute, give it a go. Hey Steve Braz, jump right into it. Okay, minute has begun. Can't believe the class is almost a third over now at this point. It is a quick class. I think that this quarantine has made classes a lot faster. Pretty soon we're going to be just doing 2-minute classes. Who needs 6-minute abs when you can get a 6-pack in 2 minutes? Miss you too. Okay, halfway through. This is the third of 3 minutes plus that intro one, so technically 4 minutes worth of handstands. If you can add a little bit of a beat, especially if you're switching your legs pretty well, go like whoop, 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 whoop. Add some sort of music, last 10 seconds. And then when you are done, there's no resting, it'll be just right into standing position. And then in standing, place your left foot to your upper inner thigh for tree pose. And then pause. So handstand is called downward facing tree. And then this is just regular tree. And in my Instagram post today, I had the big lonely Doug. I think it's one of the best tourist features in all of the greater Victoria area. If you've never gone to see it or you don't know what it is, just look it up, Big Lonely Doug. It's not a sad man on Tinder or anything like that. It's just a really big Douglas fir tree that the entire area was forested, but one forester was like, this is a really big tree, I'm going to save it. So he saved just this one tree. Okay, switch to the other side. Every now and then I have a student named Doug in class, and whenever Doug is in tree pose, I think of that tree because that's what you'd think about at that moment in time. There's always ways to make balancing positions a little more challenging. One is to just bend the standing leg a little bit. You can also close your eyes, which is very tough. If you're on carpet, that's another way, or standing on your couch or on your bed, especially if you're like me and you have a water bed. Those never went out of fashion. They're still fantastic and great. And then to give the arms a little bit of a break, there'll be a little less flow and more just going side to side. So take a wide stance on your mat with the arms out, stretched. And then turn your left foot out and then bend into your knee for warrior two position. Settle into the front leg. Actively push your arms in opposition to each other. And 2 minutes per side, but a few different variations of poses. So that's the first 30 seconds in just regular warrior two, and then clasp your hands behind your back and bow forward towards the inside of your left leg. Can't remember what song it is. Does anyone know the song? There's a song that just came out called Warrior. And I was like, oh, I was going to put it on my music playlist. And it turns out I actually don't listen to music. I only listen to music to make playlists for class. So I'm really bad now. Okay, then side angle position. Hand down and reach your right arm long to the front foot side. Stretching all the way. If you like the arm up in the air, go for it. Or you like to do a bind, go for it. It's only 30 seconds. And then for the last 30 seconds, it'll be just triangle position. So you could put the hand down inside or outside of your shin. You could put your hand on your shin or go hand flat. Pretend like you're in 2 panes of glass, which would be really scary. Most frightening thing that I could think of. Reach up, stretch your arms in opposition. Okay, and then push with your feet and rise up and switch sides. So just warrior two, second side. Sink into the front leg. And the depth of the pose is working the front thigh towards parallel to the floor. It's hard to see my form when it's angled like this. But if you don't have the stability, then just be upright more. If you want to go for the depth, that's what you've got to focus on yourself. and then clasp your hands behind your back. Have the non-dominant thumb on top and bow forward towards the inside of the right leg. For those of you who can't read the comments right now, Mookie says, sometimes I hear your watch beeping in my nightmares. Yeah, I do too. It turns out that I actually left it on. I've got the alarm set at 2 a.m. and it just beeps. Okay, then side angle position. I'm at a spot where I could use the wall to actually literally push into. You can have your hand inside or outside your foot. Again, going for the long stance, actively reach, stretch, and then turn your body from right to left. So from the lower side to the higher side, stretch all the way, reach, 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 and reach. Okay, then triangle pose, last half here, and then stretch the arms in opposition, left arm up. Again, you could go left hand forward, or you could do the bind as well. We didn't really give that as options, but still pretty good options. Okay, legs have had some work, so just set yourself up in a squat position. If you need some support of the wall behind you for tripod headstand, go for it, but just squat or crow. You can do any variation you want. Cheryl or Russell is allowed. Option to tuck your chin and go into tripod headstand momentarily. So lifting up and then using that to just move back into crow. Roll to your forehead first, get your balance, and then lift your way up. Pause and hold, and then back to a squat position. In the squat position, have your feet as close as you can comfortably. Some have to go pretty wide with the squats. Reach your arms forward, push with your feet, and slowly come up. 5 times. We'll call that 1. Lower, and then 2, and then lower, and then 3, and lower, and 4, and lower, and 5. You're lucky I counted that first one. And then lift your left leg behind you, grab hold of your foot. Left hand, you could always switch things up just to be different. And hold your foot with your right hand. Bend your standing leg a little bit, kick your foot back, dancer's pose. And then option here, 3 times to rebound, where you touch the floor and rise back up. Tap and lift, and tap and lift. Now, bring both hands down, pause. Keep your right hand down. Stack your left hip over your right hip. Bring your left knee in so that you can literally put your left hand to the front of your knee. Push your knee forward to move your hips back. Twist further to the left, and then reach the arm up into the air. Option to grab hold of your foot behind you instead. Kick your foot back, and then lift your chin. Okay, and then turn to the floor, round in, bring your knee in, extend your leg back, bring your knee in, extend your leg back, and one last time, knee in, extend your leg back, lower your foot down, slowly rise to stand, and switch. Grab hold of your right foot behind you. Again, same hand to same foot, or I actually went opposite because I like to be special sometimes. Kick your foot back, and then option to hinge, touch, and do that 3 times. I once went to a training where the teacher said that the problem with millennials is that Fred Rogers told us all that we were special. And that's the problem with this generation. Now touch both hands down. Stack your right hip
over your left hip. Bend your right knee in. Push your knee forward, move your hips back. But I am special. And then you could stay there or grab your foot, kick your foot back, lift your chin, pause and hold. I'm getting pretty sweaty pretty fast on this one. Digging deep, breathing deep, getting ready for some forearm stand here. Turn to the floor, bring your right knee in, and then kick your leg back. Knee in, and kick your leg back. And last time, and kick your leg back. And then lower your foot down, and then lower down onto your knees. I'll just set the timer for 1 minute, assuming that a number of you know forearm stand and that you can just hop up into it. If you're brand new to it, I'll show how you can get into it from headstand, but starting the timer now for those who know it. If you need a visual, just go into headstand first and then literally touch the wall with your heels and then push with your arms to lift your head up, and then you can get forearm stand. The secret with this one though is if you do this version, don't put your head back down. To come down, just bring one leg down and try to keep the other leg up. So there's this resistance. You don't just drop all the way down. If there's time, tips on headstand transition to forearm stand. Is that the version I just did, Mallory? Because there's a whole other challenge, which is doing it in the middle of the room, which is really tough. Last 10 seconds, if you've been at it for a minute. And then take a little bit of a pause. We'll say 30-minute body break. I'll just do a quick show of my favorite is holding a block, having the block pretty well up against the wall, and then just hopping up, touching, and then holding like we did in handstand and going for a minute there. Pretty well explain this every time. There's lots of different ways you can interlace your fingers. You can go into prayer. You could even have palms up or palms down. Okay, 1 minute. Give it a go. Tips of going headstand into forearm stand without the wall. That's really scary. I don't know if I can actually do that. I know a few folks who can do it. I know some folks who can press forearm stand up. But let's see if I can go up. I think one tip is to be near the wall, so you have it, and then big push. Oh, well, I can do it. I ended up holding onto my bun though, so now I'm pulling my own hair. It hurts. I'd say the only tip, Mallory, is elbows pretty close in, and then just big push with the forearms to lift up. But it helps. I'm someone who's got really long upper arms relative to my small head and brain. Okay, that's the second minute. Nice work, folks. And then we'll say 2 options on this last one. One is to try to hold the position. It's actually called tail feathers of a peacock pose. There's the peacock tail feather there, so it's actually meant to be arched a little bit, or to go into scorpion. So just both of those, you need to be about that far away with your hands from the wall. So just going up, trying to go up like I was touching the wall, but not actually touching it. Holding, and then finding an arch. Or, as I look forward, I could actually intentionally touch the wall, bend the knees, point the toes down, so I'm in scorpion, and then look forward to move the feet off of the wall. And eventually, once you can get forearm stand scorpion, handstand scorpion becomes really easy. It's actually maybe easier to hold handstand scorpion than the vertical handstand position. So last minute,
give it a go. I'll just cheer you on. Way to go. Everyone looks like sunshine right now. Sunshine before the showers return. Hold strong. 45 more seconds to go. Oh, we got plenty of time. I thought, well, I was looking at my watch said that it was 40 seconds to go, and I thought it meant that it was 5:40, and we only had 4 minutes to go. We got tons of time. Well, it's inversions and things, so there'll be some more and things to go here. Last 15 seconds. And then setting yourself to slowly come down. And once you arrive down, go into all fours position, hands and knees. Make a fist with your right hand, and then lift your right leg out to the side. Everybody's favorite, dog at a fire hydrant. Drop your knee down, reopen your leg, and continue that. Open and close, open and close. Next time your leg's out to the side, push your leg straighter, then rebend your knee. Push your leg straighter, rebend your knee. Push your leg straighter, rebend your knee, and then lower your knee down. Lower your right hand flat, make a fist with your left hand, lift your left leg out, and lower it back down. Open and close, open and close. Keep the knee in line with your other knee. You can move your hips actually a little further back than the knees themselves. And then next time the knee is out to the side, keep it out to the side. Extend your leg straighter, rebend your knee. Extend your leg straighter, rebend your knee. Extend your leg straighter, rebend your knee. A little bit of a core one, forearm plank position. If you want to do forearm stand again one more time, go for it. You could also do forearm plank with your feet on the wall. I'll see if I can do that one. I just gotta make sure I got the timer all set up in the perfect spot. So 3, 2, 1, go. I don't know if you can spot me. Oh, that's gonna be really hard to do. My feet are sort of on the wall-ish. Looks kind of weird. Get the butt lower or up. Pick and choose what feels good for you. I don't think you can tell someone to drop their butt. If they want to lift their butt, lift their butt. Yeah, this version's really, really hard. I'm noticing that because my fingernails are digging into the backs of my hands. Why do they call it the backs of the hands? What if those were actually the fronts of the hands? 20 more seconds. This version turned out a lot more tiring than I thought. Whoa, almost slipped. This is like a survivor challenge. Does anyone want to participate in like our own survivor challenge, survivor quarantine, where we like compete and then vote people out? Last 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And then lie on your back and lift your legs up into the air. With your legs up in the air, crisscross your feet one in front of the other. A little bit easier, knees bent, go slow. More challenging, go legs straighter, faster, wider, lower. Be careful if you're too close to the wall. And the next one is a simple one. It's called I Have the Power, where you just try to push your legs away from you, but your legs resist. They say no. And you just match the force of your legs with your hands. So it doesn't look on video like there's much work being done, but you can feel the work that you are doing. Push, push, push. Resist, resist, resist. Feel the strength, not just of your six-pack, but of the muscles surrounding the whole waist. Waist being the front, the sides, and the back. Then cup the back of your head, bicycle crunches. Curl up right elbow to left knee, and then left elbow to right knee, and just switching side to side, adding a bicycle action. I saw this couple on a tandem bike yesterday, but the front bike the woman was on, and she was on the reclined version, and then the guy was on the upright in the back. It was crazy. I'd never seen one like that. It was awesome. Okay, and then lower your feet down, arms alongside you, like you'd be prepping for bridge, but just lean side to side, touching your heels for an exercise called heel touches. So just going side to side, stretching and toning the side waist, so the obliques. And then pause, bring the feet in close enough that you can brush your heels, lift your hips up for bridge pose. If you want to do just a different variation of bridge pose, it's called Chatush Padasana, 4-footed pose, where you walk the feet in close enough to hold your ankles and then drop your heels down, walk the shoulders in closer to each other, push your knees away from your head, but lift your chest up, lift your chin away from your chest, and then hold. Okay, and then come down, have a little bit of a rest. Just getting my my towel myself for safety's sake. Getting ready for Urdhva Dhanurasana upward bow. I slide on this mat sometimes. If it gets into summer temperatures, you're always welcome to turn the other way. Have your hands near the wall. I've got my feet at the wall. So back bend, round one, hands beside the ears, and then push up to the top of the head. Move the hands a little closer and a little wider, and then press to lift up. And then hold. Life looks great upside down. Like, oh yeah, oh boy, I really haven't swept the floors in a long time. Oh, should probably vacuum at one point during this pandemic. Okay, and then come down. We'll do one more. Noticing that the watch beeper isn't going off anymore. This last one, you're always welcome to go further. You can go a leg up in the air. That could be in bridge 2. Or you could lift a hand and wave to the camera. Even though I can't see you, someone is watching you on your phone. Thanks, Edward Snowden, for that one. And also you could do this pose on your forearms as well. But one last go. Lift your way up. Rise. Let's see if I can at least wave. Hey government. How are you? I'm upside down. Uh-oh. All right. Hold. And eventually make your way onto your back. Okay, once you're on your back, you could position yourself further away from the wall. Just lift your right leg up into the air, hold the back of your thigh. I'm actually choosing to have my left knee bent and foot at the wall like that, but if I wanted the left leg straight, I just have to move a bit further away. But I like this version. Okay, and then bend your knee, hold your knee with your left hand, right arm out to the side, and then just a gentle twist. Okay, and then switch sides. Left leg up, hold the back of your thigh. And then use your hands to pull your thigh bone down towards the hip socket as opposed to pull your leg towards your face. No one really needs to get their leg in their face. So try to guide your thigh bone down as you extend the leg straight up. And then bend your knee, hold your knee, move your hips a little to the left as you drop the knee over to the right. You can look over your left shoulder, slow down your breath. Begin to relax your energy. We'll go for a minute of shoulder stand. Just going to trust those who know it will go for it right away. You get a bit more than a minute. If you're not sure on it, then you can just go both legs up into the air and pause and hold for a minute. That's actually hard to do. It might be a little bit easier actually to go onto a block with your hips, like a supported bridge. It's not as big of a stretch for my hamstrings. Or you've got the wall close by, hopefully, if you brought a wall to class. That was the requirement. So you could go legs up the wall. I'll get the timer going. Not sure if I'm going to be able to put the watch around my ankle so I can see it. There we go, worked. And then option to go up into shoulder stand. Now, if you can see me right now, it's actually pretty hard to see the time on the watch. Oh, there we go, 36 seconds to go. Inversions and things don't always offer the shoulder stand a lot. It's a pretty accessible version of headstand, or pardon me, of inversions. It kind of is headstand. It's not really all shoulder stand. I feel a lot of weight in my head. How much time do we got left? 8 seconds. If you want to stay up for a little bit longer, go for it. If your legs up the wall, stay. And we'll just finish with a little bit of a rest, whether that's Shavasana or seated meditation. Just make yourself comfortable. Slow down your breath. Quick, intense workout. Namaste.